What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. And, you know, I woke up today and I saw the date, December 20th. And then it registered to me that it's been exactly 1 year since myself and others close to him learned the tragic news that LB, the brother Leland, had passed away. And I don't want to go into detail, but we had feared the worst due to some things I don't want to get into. But the confirmation of that was one of the biggest blows that I've faced, and I know many others, in quite some time. LB, I first learned of him through Ticket TV. He was a correspondent on Ticket's channel. And it was Ticket that encouraged LB to start doing videos. And he did start doing videos. And one thing that I admired about LB was that he wasn't driven by, a need to get likes and clicks and views. That wasn't what drove him. What drove him was trying to find the truth in matters, trying to find the truth in the things that we talk about, or at least, if not finding what the absolute truth is, at least giving his truth from his perspective. And he was a teacher by heart. He always wanted to inform. He was always looking to find what was factual and presenting it in a very convincing case that usually won over his audience. He was also, and the thing that I most admire him for, and what I remember him for, he was a crusader. And he would talk about the things and talk about some of the issues that the mainstream media and many YouTubers didn't want to talk about. He's the main reason why I still, to this day, will talk about things that may not get me the most likes, but it's something I'm passionate about and something that needs to be addressed. Whether we're talking about homelessness, whether we're talking about, local officials acting wild, trying to get away with grift, trying to get away with malfeasance, things that the mainstream media nowadays want to skip because they want to talk about the relationship between this celebrity and that celebrity, soft news. And I developed a friendship with LB. We were friends for quite some time, and we hit it off. And sometimes I would go on his channel. Sometimes he would go on my channel. Matter of fact, when we followed the election night results, he was one of the few guests I had on my live stream. So at times, man, I still find it hard to believe that LB isn't here, man. He drifts into my thoughts in some capacity every day. Every day. Another thing that people might be fascinated about LB that I learned is that LB, as knowledgeable as he became about politics, that came later. He confided to me that it wasn't until basically he left the Navy, because, if you don't know, he had a Navy career when he was younger. It wasn't until he left the Navy, that he became interested in politics. But the brother really did his research, and he became one of the most informed persons that I've ever encountered. And there were many times when he would inform me and correct me on things, because, sometimes news sources can be incorrect. Sometimes news sources or what you learn or he read can be preliminary, and it can change. He's one of the reasons why whenever I present news, I try to be as finite as possible, because sometimes preliminary news reports can be incorrect. So he definitely had a huge influence on me as far as my channel, and he had an influence on me as a person. And we lost a real good one when we lost LB 1 year ago. I can't believe it's been 1 year. Can't believe it's been 1 year. I also wonder sometimes, how his channel would have grown if he was still here. I mean, that's not the most important thing, but, you just want the brother to be here. But I do wonder how his channel would have grown further. He had the passion. He did the research. He was a great debater. And he was funny. He was great at ad-libbing. And, there are a lot of things about him that, I miss. He was a huge wrestling fan. I used to be a wrestling fan, but, he was a huge wrestling fan. He would go to some of their events. As I said before, he followed politics, but he was not in love with what he saw in politics. He saw the grifters. He saw the scam artists. When you're talking about local, state, or national. Like myself, he was not a fan of the Democratic Party. He was very critical of the Democratic Party. But that did not mean that he was a fan of the Republican Party. And he shared my frustrations when people hear you criticize Democrats. They say, "Oh, you're a Trump supporter." No, we're not. No, we're not. But anyway, man, I just thought I'd do this video. It's been 1 year since we lost LB. The LDBC still misses him. Even to this day, man, sometimes, I will briefly forget he's not here. But anyway, man, rest in peace to LB, man. Tell me what you guys think.